to you by GG Poker, in partnership with WSOP and in partnership with Gripsed Poker Training. My name is Evan Jarvis, and today we are reviewing event 78, the final table of the $1,000 buy-in Turbo No Limit Hold'em 8-handed event. Coming into this final table, we have some pretty accomplished players. Timothy West, our short stack, who's coming in with 2.5 big blinds, has total live winnings of just shy of 4 million and a whole bunch more online, known as Teammate 420 in the online circles. A very strong player, very accomplished player. He's coming in very short, but hey, it's a turbo. Anything can happen. He can definitely spin to win. Next up, we have Yargo Olivali, who is also known as Bunga Cat. He is a coach for BBZ Poker and was a big part of the ICM course that they came out with. Really good stuff for improving final table play. I went through that course in full as soon as it came out, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is interested in improving their final table play. So these are two players we definitely want to keep an eye on. Although if Timothy West gets these sevens cracked here, we may be saying sayonara to him sooner rather than later. He's coming in for 2.5 bigs with sevens. I imagine he will get called by one of the players behind. Yargo's going to call with fours. See if Adnan also wants to get in there with deuces. Not the strongest of hands, but not only is he going to get in there, he's going to go for an ISO raise to 1.5 million. He wants to get this pot heads up, and Timothy West is absolutely going to love to see it. He's in this pot for 2.5 bigs, 500K. He has a chance to quadruple up as a 4-to-1 favorite. What an incredible spot to be in. What an incredible situation for the man right here. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Coming in this final table with 2.5 bigs, Timothy West still in 8th, but much more comfortable now sitting with 10 big blinds. Next player, Andrei Lyubovetsky from the Ukraine, has about 200,000 in live winnings and probably a whole bunch more online. Looks like his average buy-in is about $1,000, $1,500. So he's going to be very comfortable playing for these limits. The man who just won a big pot last hand, Adnan Hasialioglu, is a complete mystery man. Coming into this final table, his total live earnings are $13,000. He has played a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 live tournaments over the past 7 years, with buy-ins ranging from 100 euros to 500 euros. So he's definitely going to be a wild card coming into this final table. Robin Berggren, repping from Argentina, but I believe possibly living in Canada or from Argentina, living in Canada. Anyway, he's got 500,000 in live winnings, probably a whole bunch more online. His average buy-in is about $500 to $1,000 as well. So he's going to be playing at the top end of his range here, but probably feeling reasonably good about it. Nico Koop has a couple of nice 4th place finishes in the last 2 years for 240K and 44K. Not a crazy amount of live winnings, another about 500,000 for this man here, but you know, the Austrians always play very solid, so he's probably going to be a good one to watch. He also is our table chip leader coming into the FT. Sojun Kim is a live player from Korea. He crushes the single day high rollers. The man loves to play. He's been playing for the last 10 years, and his volume is absolutely insane across the Asian Poker Tour, Manila, China, Vietnam, you name it, Macau. The man loves to play, and Korea. And then Twin Bui, we don't really know too much about, couldn't find any information, but there's a lot to be said here about the fact that he is just flatting an open with pocket queens. These players are very shallow, 25 bigs, and Yargo is going to be opening on the looser side. So he's definitely going to be opening loose enough. Adnan's rarely trapping. I'm really surprised Twin Bui didn't 3-bet queens here. It's a hand that doesn't play the best multi-way. It's a hand that plays much better in a heads-up situation. So very surprised to see that play there. Also, the fact that he didn't check raise the flop, kind of a surprise. This is much more his board than the other guys. And now he's allowed Adnan to get there. And Adnan going for a small sizing there. He doesn't want to lose his opponent. Should his opponent have a pair of 10s, pair of 9s, he wants them to stick around. And on the rare instances he's somehow behind, he wants to lose the minimum as well. Little surprised he didn't go for thin value on the river there. There was a pot size bet remaining, but at the same time, he probably felt the pot was big enough. Checking behind allowed him to double up his stack there without the risk of potentially losing more. Sometimes when we're looking at final tables and we're thinking about, ICM considerations, not going for those thin value bets at the end can be okay because you protect the rest of your stack and you guarantee that you're going to still be in the tournament rather than facing a check raise. Given how Twemby played pre-flop and flop on that hand, though, I think it's pretty unlikely he would have been turning those queens into a bluff on the river, and therefore if Adnan did face a raise on the river, he could probably assume that his pair of kings was no good. Anyway, Nico Koop coming in with the ace-9 suited, raises and takes it down. All right, let's talk about the payouts on this final table. Everyone who has made it to the final table of this 1K buy-in event, guaranteed $20,911. Eighth place is getting $28,814. Seventh, $39,706. Sixth, $54,714. Fifth place, $79,395. Fourth, $103,893. Third, $143,162. Second place, $197,274. And first place in this event is going to be taken home $259,842. Pretty massive paydays, pretty exciting stuff for everyone who has made this final table. So definitely the players to watch on this one are going to be Timothy West. Let's see how he can navigate the short stack and see if he can spin it up to a very solid payday. If there's anyone who's going to know how to work the short stack, it's going to be someone like Team 420, who is very experienced online season vet and probably has a lot of experience playing with short stacks. Yargo is also someone we want to pay close attention to. He is an ICM master, an ICM wizard. And when it comes to short stack play and final table play, he's going to know not just a thing or two, but pretty much everything you need to know. And we also want to pay attention to our chip leader, Nico Koop, and Robin Berggren, who is a solid player with a solid stack as well. Those are my 4 picks for the ones we want to pay attention to. And let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Twinbui finding the fold with ace-3 suited, keeping himself out of trouble. Team A making the push here. Andre's thinking about calling with queen-jack suited. The price is all right, 1.3 to play for a pot of 3.3. It is for a third of his chips, though, and he is behind any pair, any king-high, any ace-high. And so even though queen-jack suited is a hand that has a good amount of equity, it's not necessarily going to be ahead. And when he's gambling for a significant portion of his chips, he'd probably rather be ahead in the all-in situation as opposed to simply getting the right pot odds. If, however, it was for a smaller percentage of his chips, he probably wouldn't mind just taking the pot odds, even if he's slightly behind, because he could easily afford it. Team A, suited connector. We see he doesn't go for it there because Nico came in with the raise. This is a spot where Andre is going to be very happy to get the money in, I imagine. Yep, I think we'll see a fold from Nico here. We'll wait and see. So a little announcement for everybody. Today we are playing the big deal on Party Poker is a 50,000 guaranteed tournament, streamer only invitational. 48 of us will be playing. And so we are going to be playing that tournament starting in about an hour. I figured this was the best way to warm up for it. See if Timothy's going to go for it here with ace-4 suited. It is the right amount of big blinds, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players to get through. And a lot of value in just surviving. So interesting to see that fold there. So yeah, it's a 48-person tournament, 50K guaranteed. And we're all going to be streaming it on a 4-minute delay. That's why I'm streaming on a delay today, unlike the usual streams where we do it live. And anytime someone busts another player, that player will send all the viewers over in a raid. So it's going to be a huge stream. And that final table is going to have some massive raids going on. We may see 5-figure viewership today in Twitch Poker. So something pretty cool, I will say. And I'm really excited to be a part of that. Welcome in Travesty, JW Tex, John, Pauly 13. Great to see y'all. All right. So we are 8-handed at this 2020 1K buy-in WSOP final table. And if you're wondering, Grips, what are you doing streaming this? I figured what better way to warm up for a 1K event than to sweat a 1K final table and get our preparation right, get our ranges right, get our mindset right to be able to have the best performance in this tournament today. Tim West waited for it, picks up ace king, avoided getting it in behind, and now he is going to get it in good with ace king. Probably just picking up the blinds and antes here. I don't think we'll see any takers. Everyone's got pretty raggedy hands here. Pretty raggedy hands indeed. If you guys are watching on YouTube and you've been enjoying these final table reviews, excited to see more final table reviews, please do hit that thumbs up button, that like button. It helps the channel a ton and also lets YouTube know that you want to know when I go live with more final table reviews like this so you don't miss any of the action. We probably have about 6 or 7 more final table reviews to do from this year's WSOP, and I'll be doing them over the next 6 weeks. Robin Berggren opening with the ace blocker. T-May got a strong hand here. Question is, will he flatten, take a flop, or will he just move it in? A lot to be gained by pushing and taking it down. It would be a 50% chip up, and actually T-May is just going to fold it. I'm curious about that one. The next pay jump is 8,000. It's 8 buy-ins. I don't know. What was that? Button cut off. Hijack open. Ace-8 suited's doing all right there. And with the ace blocker, I'm a little surprised we didn't see T-May at least put one chip in the pot with a call. If not a push to take it down, but anyway. He's the one with 4 million in live earnings. He's probably knowing the value of potentially laddering up. Maybe felt like he wouldn't have a ton of fold equity on his short stack. Just didn't want to take any variance. Yargo here. It's a great spot to slow play with pocket aces. He's going to go for the large 3-bet size. That's the other option. Because if Nico has a real hand, Yargo has made a 3-bet sizing where the next bet is all in. Since Yargo has 2 aces, he's not going to think Nico's opening with an ace like this too often. He's hoping Nico has a pair himself. Or a king-queen suited that may take a flop. Ace is a really nice hand to slow play with in general, especially as the stacks get shallower. But I guess with ICM considerations in play, playing a big pot, deep stacked, out of position, third place stack against the chip leader when we're still, 8-handed, still lots of potential money to be gained by just moving up and not busting, would make sense that he decided to just kind of end that pre-flop or give himself the best chance to get all the money in should he have the best hand. Now we see him pushing here, blind versus blind for 23 bigs. I told you guys, this guy knows his ICM stuff. He knows his shoving ranges. He is a short stack specialist. Really good guy to be watching here. Sejun Kim, ace jack is going to be good for an open. Probably just for the min here. Few too many chips to be open shoving here, especially with the 2 shorter stacks left on the table. Now the question is, will Adnan slow play it here and both disguise his hand and give his opponent a chance to flop a weaker top pair, or will he just 3-bet the queens here, looking to get it in? He's going to go for the full-sized shove. Probably takes down. What do you guys think the worst hand Sejun Kim is going to call with there? Do you think he calls with 10s? Do you think he calls with 9s? Do you think perhaps a smaller 3-bet size from Adnan would be more likely to get action there? Nico. See, he's definitely opening on the looser side relative to everyone else. That's partially due to the fact that he has the chip lead coming into the final table. And when these shorter stacks are in play, the medium stacks do not want to do battle with the big stack. And so Nico is taking advantage of that and widening his opening range a little bit as he expects to get more folds. It's a great flop for Nico here. 1 high card, couple low cards, only spades and gutters are going to continue. He's likely going to continue with a medium-sized bet. If there were no flush draw here, he probably would have bet even smaller. But with spades being there, he likes to size up a little bit, half pot. Takes it down. All right, Twenbury, 11 blinds, pocket sevens. This probably will be going in the middle. But he is going to pass on it. He appears to really want to ladder up on this final table. Does not want to take variance. But the problem is when you're one of the like really short stacks and you're waiting out that pay jump for, you know, 10,000, you're missing out on the opportunity to get the bigger pay jumps. You know, an extra 30,000 for getting a sixth, an extra 50,000 for getting to fifth. So I think Twen is playing a bit too conservative given his stack size on the final table. Good morning, D Dozen, stacking your chips, MVP FX, Hero Call Poker, Stranger in the Night. Nice to see all of you guys. Welcome to the stream. Namanja says, what software? This is a GG replayer. GG has provided us with the final tables, special access with all hole cards up, so we can learn as much as possible and share this wonderful content with viewers like yourselves. You see Nico reshoving all in. John says, great channel. Thank you. Nate C. Beat says, awesome to see you teach us live. Glad you're enjoying it. Thank you so much, Nate C. Beats. Soccer Poker says, have you already watched the Raise Your Edge Masterclass? Yes. And the Nick Petrangelo course? Yes. If yes, what would you suggest for a mid-stakes cash player trying to get into tournaments? I'd recommend the Raise Your Edge Masterclass because I feel it is a more complete program than the Petrangelo course. Petrangelo course is fantastic. It has a lot to do with ranges and shaping your ranges and ensuring you have kind of the right designs for your range. Whereas the Tournament Masterclass is a more complete program. So I find that the Petrangelo Masterclass for people who are already like advanced, looking to become complete experts, and the Tournament Masterclass is for everyone else who wants to like understand everything they need to know about tournaments to get very good very quickly. Talks about the common mistakes that people make, talks about the ways to counter those mistakes, talks about how to stop making those mistakes. It gives you access to range viewers that tell you every range you can open for every position, what to 3-bet, what to 4-bet, what to call 3-bets with. It's got some mental games. It's just an extremely complete program, and I can't recommend it highly enough. In fact, that's why I have a review video on the Tournament Masterclass by Ben CB that includes some pretty sweet bonuses as well. So I'll throw a link in the chat if anyone is interested in that. Definitely worth it. Worth every penny. All right, Twambui. Ace Queen's got to go in, right? It's unfortunate. Sevens was going to be in much better shape against Ace King. We don't know what would have happened there, but we do know it's very unlikely that Ace Queen is going to be able to get there against pocket aces here. This is going to be GG for Twembui, unless a 4 comes on the river for a chop. That looks like a 9 or a 10. That's going to be GG. Twembui going to be our 8th place finisher, taking home $28,814. I do think that had he 3-bet the queens, things would have been very different. If he was willing to go for it with the sevens, things would have been different. And that's just one of those things. If you play too conservatively, too focused on laddering just 1 or 2 spots, you eliminate your chance of getting the top paying spots, which are just so much more. You know, first place is almost 10 times what 8th place is. And getting in those top 3 spots is just so valuable for your long run earnings in tournament poker that you do have to be willing to go for it. There is, you know, some bragging rights about making the final table. There is some, you know, quote unquote prestige associated with making the final table. But if you're looking to make money playing poker tournaments, things like making the final table don't really mean anything. Making the final table with a chip stack that gives you a chance to hit the top 3 spots, that's what's meaningful because that's what makes money. So if you're looking for max profit, do be willing to go for it. Yeah. I just want to share that. And actually, as I was saying, Yargo has a fantastic course on exactly how to do that. And it's cool that we're going to get to see a little bit of a live masterclass here with him with cards up. It's always fun to get hand examples and see people doing their thing in the moment. So Yargo now in 2nd place. Going to be able to do a lot of work. Players are on a 5-minute break, but we, my friends, are not on a 5-minute break. We are going to skip right ahead into the action because you guys didn't come here to watch a clock countdown. You came here to see some cards in the air. We're down to the final 7 players in event 78 of the $1,000 Turbo 6 Max event. The World Series of Poker 2020, brought to you by GG Poker. If you're just tuning in right now, my name is Evan Jarvis, also known as Grips. Huge fan of poker, player of the game, lover of the game, teacher of the game. Welcome to the stream. If you're looking to learn something about some final table play and how to make more money playing poker tournaments, you're in the right place. Andre on 20 bigs here could definitely just ship it in here. Max pressure. Enables him to realize his equity for certain if he runs into a hand. And it also may fold out some hands like this ace deuce, like pocket 2s, 3s, 4s that have some equity against his hand that he'd rather not be up against. Now see, instead of him shoving and getting a fold from Robin, he min raised and gave Robin the opportunity to shove. And now instead of having the chance to take down this pot, the blinds and antes, or playing, with 45% equity for a huge pot that could put him in the chip lead, he's probably going to just fold his hand here. And that is a huge disaster at this stage of the game. Yes, there are a couple of people below him. Yes, there are pay jumps to be had by outlasting 1 or 2 people. But if he just shoves there, he just takes it down, increases his stack 570,000, almost 15%, as we're going to see T-May do here with King Queen, I believe. And also, if he plays that all-in pot, he gives himself a chance to get one of those top-paying spots. T-May not taking the King-Queen spot. Again, a little bit surprised there. His is more early position than Andre's. Andre only had 2 players to get through, whereas T-May had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also, Timothy has a little bit less fold equity being shorter. He's going to get called more often than Andre would have. Still a little surprised he didn't go for it there, but especially with him being the shortest stack in the tournament. I'm actually very surprised he didn't push the King-Queen there. We know he probably would have got called by Robin, but that's being results-oriented and beside the point. I'd like to hear what Yargo would have to say about the ICM there, if he could run the simulation and tell us if it's a profitable call or not. All right, we see he probably would have won this one, but instead it is a battle of the ace highs and the gut shots. Nico may take a stab at this one, turning a gut shot here. No one showing any interest on the flop. With it being a multi-way pot, Adnan would have been more likely to bet if he had a piece to protect his hand somewhat. And so Nico assumes no one has anything, has a little bit of backup equity with the gut shot, but just says, I'll take it down. You guys don't want to take the pot? I'll happily take it down. And that's probably part of how he got the chip lead and part of how he's going to maintain the chip lead for an extended period. Adnan with the suited king, opening from the cutoff. Generally, suited kings and suited aces are going to be perfectly profitable to open from the button and cutoff. Nico with ace-7 suited could play it either way here. Could 3-bet, having the blocker and putting pressure on the shorter stack. He could flat as well. I like the 3-bet here. Put Sejun in a tough spot. He is going to go for it. Good awareness here and willingness to gamble. Nico getting a great price here. He's going to snap call, but he is going to be very far behind. He needs a 7 or a bunch of clubs, and a couple of those clubs are already gone. Now he picks up some more outs. A 10, a 5 would make him the best hand, and now he just needs to fade a jack, which that is not a jack, and we are going to have an elimination. Unfortunately for Sejun Kim, got it in with the best of it, a heavy favorite. But that's the unfortunate thing about having no fold equity. When you get called, you do have to run the cards. And sometimes when you run the cards, best hand doesn't hold up. So GG to Sejun Kim, taking home $39,705.79. And nice job, T-May laddering. Although if he'd shoved the king queen, he'd still be in the game too with a few more chips. But he's showing he really just, picking up an extra 15,000 is no J-O-K-E. Our 7th place finisher, Sejun Kim, taking home 39.7K, and everyone left is guaranteed at least 55K. Nico with a huge chip lead now. I think we'll see him opening a lot of pots with this stack. And Yargo will probably open a lot of pots whenever Nico is not involved in the action. Adnan, our mystery man, opening with ace-8 under the gun. If he had the chips, I like it. With him being one of the middle stacks and two big stacks having position on him and a big stack in the small blind, I'm not a huge fan of reaching this wide here with ace-8. See Yargo just going for the full size. And some people may say, well, why doesn't he 3-bet smaller? The thing with ace-king, you want to see all 5 cards if possible. You don't necessarily want to 3-bet, give your opponent a nice price, have them call, you miss the flop. And you're basically giving them a free chance to outdraw you. Where with the big hands, like ace-queen, mainly ace-queen, and the pairs, you just want to get all the money in. And you'd rather fold out hands like queen-jack suited, king-queen suited, jack-10 suited that have decent equity and would happily take a flop in position for a small price, but would not go for all of it. Because if they continue for the small price and then they hit, you get it in behind, because once you 3-bet to a small amount with ace-king, you're never folding on the flop. You're putting the rest of the chips in. So the question is, why let your opponent see the flop for, a fifth or a quarter of their stack when you could make them play for all of it and you're still going to get it in good against ace-queen? So that's why he just goes for the full-size shove here with ace-king. And, the solvers are going to recommend that on 25, 30, even 40 big blinds. So totally fine play there from Yargo. He is the wizard, the creator of the ICM course for BBZ coaching. And yeah, he's comfortably in second place with 12 million chips. He's got the jack blocker here, which not really anything special. No need to go after it there. And Adnan, ooh, he's found himself a nice spot. Yargo, monster hand here, pocket queens, is going to be feeling a world of hurt against Adnan. Adnan going to be going for a 3-bet here. Will he do what he did before and just shove it for 27 bigs? Probably not with aces. We saw him do that earlier with queens. And the funny thing is, for this particular sizing, especially out of position, I don't think this player is ever bluffing. And I don't think he's doing this with any hand other than aces. We saw earlier with his more medium strength hand, pocket queens, he just went all in. This is a very please call me bet that is often only done with aces. And if he were bluffing, he probably would have gone for a smaller size because he's inviting Yargo in. Now, Yargo is probably thinking about that, but with pocket queens, he's not going to be able to just get away. Wouldn't be surprised to see this go all in. And that's what's going to happen here. So Adnan loving it. Yargo is saying my hand is just too good. I need to go with it. He's thinking he's got to be bluffing sometimes. But, afterwards, it's like, the guy always has aces there. I don't know why I did that. Oh, right. I know why I did that. It's because I have pocket queens. Like, I always has aces there. And just an unlucky spot for Yargo there. If you feel his pain, smash that like button on YouTube. Helps the channel a lot and also lets YouTube know that you want to be notified whenever I go live with more of these final table reviews. Little Inkling says, hey, I've really been taking an interest in your tutorials lately, filling in a lot of blanks in my poker knowledge. Great to see you live for the first time. Thank you, Little Inkling. Glad you've been enjoying the content. It's a pleasure to serve and to have the content reach more people. Glad you're receiving benefit, man. Good luck on the tables. And we see the huge shove again, even for 55 blinds. Happy to do it. He's totally happy to do it. Welcome in Peter Cruz, who says, thanks for the great content over the years. You are most welcome. And welcome in Babula Tawari. Glad you could join us. All right, Yargo raising it up. Ace, Jack of diamonds. Tim West certainly going to be folding in this spot. Certainly going to be folding in this spot. And Adnan. Pocket tens. It's going to be a raise. Will Nico 3-bet with the blockers here and the big stack. He covers his opponent. He's got an ace blocker. No surprise to see his 3-bet. It puts Adnan in an awkward spot. He doesn't want to just 4-bet all in, second place against first place for 50 blinds. So he's kind of forced to call, which is the beauty of being the 3-better in position with the big stack. Nico flops top pair, checks behind. May go for value on this turn here. Get some value from a queen, value from a jack. We'll probably see it go check, check. He now chops with other aces. Unlikely to get value from a queen. Now behind a jack. Adnan likely called there on the turn because he did have a double gut shot. A 9 made him a straight. A king made him a straight. And the price was pretty good, getting 4-1. If his outs were all live, he was getting the right price to go for it there. So Nico takes that one down and further extends his chip lead. He now has 2x second place. It's a wonderful position to be in when you're looking at those huge payouts, $260,000 up top, to have a huge stack like that. All right, Nico Coop raising it up. And I think he'll take this one down. No real contest here. Oh, Adnan does want to take a flop with 8-6 offsuit. Interesting stuff. He's going against the one guy who can bust him. There are 1, 2 super short stacks and a couple of medium smallish stacks. Don't see the need to battle here, but Adnan is our mystery man. And he's playing it by feel. Freestyling it, per se. And not having the best of it in this spot here. Nico checked back the flop because he dominates a lot of ace highs and king highs that Adnan could have. Doesn't want to risk getting check raised. And, you know, can improve to top pair as he does. Check back the turn, or hit the turn, went for value. Adnan shows the difficulties of playing a weak offsuit disconnected hand out of position. Is you flop second pair and then you turn third pair to do what? Check call and then get blown off your hand on the river. That's the problem with playing those weaker offsuit hands out of position, is that even when you do catch a piece, you're just going to get blown off your hand a lot. And you're going to be bleeding chips by playing those hands. And so it's easier to just fold the hand pre-flop, get out of the situation early rather than investing chips that you're not going to see back in the future. Speaking of chips being seen in the future, Team A420 picks up ace-king suited at the right time. He's going to be running against the pocket nines of Adnan here. Needs an ace or a king or a bunch of diamonds to stay in the game. 3 jacks gives him 1 more out. Jack of spades would make him quads. With an ace kicker would be the winner. Looks like it could be a king. King of spades means the double up for teammate 420. Picks up the right hand just in the nick of time. Catches that river. A little bit of a dent for Adnan, but not a huge one. And the player who benefited from the most, other than teammate, of course, the one who doubled up, is Nico Coop. Nico Coop now has 4x second place chips, and he can go mental if he's so inclined. Everyone's guaranteed 54K. There's a 25K pay jump next. 50K pay jump from 6th to 4th. 100K pay jump from 6th to 3rd. People are going to want to ladder up in this tournament. And so if Nico wanted to 3-bet a lot of the opens from medium stacks, like right here, it would work. And if he wants to open a lot every time it's folded to him, it will work. So it'll be interesting to see if Nico makes that adjustment. Once again, we see teammate not defending the big blind. Why? Because he's valuing his tournament life. He just wants to ladder up. He doesn't want to take variance to his stack. He's not going for the win, but he's going for, you know, an increased payday from sticking around in this field. Nico with deuces here, facing the cutoff open. Here we go. Max pressure. Very awkward spot for Robin. Even with a hand like ace, queen, ace, jack, it's an awkward spot. There's 2 super short stacks that'll bust out soon. That's $50,000 to be gained by simply folding 50 buy-ins. And yeah, with a7, it's an easy fold, but he may want to tighten up his opening range with Nico having such a big chip lead and there being these 2 really short stacks in play. Interesting to see what Tim will do here. Definitely way ahead of Nico's opening range, but he has no fold equity. Oh, shout out to Maze coming in with the 4 months, man. Thank you so much for the 4 months. Thank you for the support. Much love, brother. And interesting thing we see there. Okay. Notice, even though Nico was getting the right price to call off against Time, he did not call because having the short stack in the game allows him to steal more chips because there's more ICM pressure in play. So in those spots that are close, he doesn't have to make the call there. Yeah, because also increasing the stack an extra 2 million doesn't make a huge difference, but just having the chip lead has him in a great spot. And the more short stacks there are in play, the more valuable his chip lead is, regardless of the actual exact size of it. So Andre makes push with Queen 8. It's called by King Jack suited for Adnan. Adnan slight favorite here pre-flop and a deadening favorite on the flop. It's a full house on the turn for Adnan Hasialioglu. And Andre is going to be our 6th place finisher, taking home $54,714. Nice payday for him, and Time has once again laddered up. So nice little result there. We're keeping our eye on the chip leader as mentioned, and on the online long-time grinder wizard Time 420, and the BBZ coach Yargo Olivari. So far my picks doing pretty well on this final table. Links, it's asking how we can see all the hole cards. Yeah, it's a pretty big benefit. GG Poker wanted to get more content out around the WSOP, wanted to get more promotion. So they reached out to streamers like myself to ask if, you know, we would be interested in covering the final tables. I said I'd absolutely love to. I love the World Series of Poker. I love final tables, and I love being able to see all the hole cards because it's an incredible learning experience. What they did was they gave us access to these feeds on a 30-minute delay, well after every hand had completed. And this is so that we can make great content, and that's exactly what we're doing. Hope that you are enjoying it. Adnan, once again, like snap calling the 3-bets out of position. 2nd place versus big stack, really asking for trouble. I'm curious how he's going to play the draw. He is going to check raise it. And fortunately for him, this is probably going to work. He's probably going to be able to get it through. But if Nico had a big pair, Adnan would just be getting all the money in as a 2-to-1 underdog, which is not what you want to do with this chip stack. This is very high variance. This is very risky, and I would not recommend this at all. If you're opening Jack 8 suited in this spot, I would just fold to the 3-bet because it's extremely hard to make chips playing 3-bet pots out of position. Not only do you have to hit the board, you need your opponents to have been 3-betting light and to not have a hand. Because if you hit the board and they had a hand, you just coolered yourself. Not the kind of situation that you want to be getting involved in. But Adnan has no fear. He's here to play. He's here to win. Whatever it takes, he's happy to mix it up, do some gambling. And so far, it's working out for him. Welcome to the stream, Mini Kiwi. Welcome to the stream, Corey's girl. Queen High going to take this one down. And Yargo probably just going to push here, I think. Sub 20 bigs. Pocket 6 is strong hand. He's going to push. Puts Robin in an awkward spot. See, here's the same thing as earlier where Andre had King Queen. He min-raised instead of pushing. Robin got to push him out of the pot. Now here, Yargo, if he min-raised, Robin could move all in with ace-10 suited, and Yargo's in the tough spot deciding if he should call off with the marginal hand. But instead, because Yargo pushed, Robin's in the tough spot deciding if he should call off with the marginal hand. And I don't know if he will. Because on final tables, you want to be the one pushing. You don't want to be the one calling unless you think you are significantly ahead. And I don't know if Robin's going to make the call here. And there we go. Takes down. Mika says, I used to watch, listen to your videos in the car on the way to tourneys each Friday. Man, I love stories like that because I felt, once people told me about that, I realized what we were doing with the content, and it was by listening to, my best thoughts, because I don't always have the clearest thoughts, but when I'm commentating and making content, I'm speaking my best thoughts, I'm teaching my best lessons. And I realized that inner dialogue, it was the champion's monologue to replace what otherwise would be a messy or a negative or a confused inner dialogue. And that's power listening to audio programs. It's power listening to audio books. We're going to see Nico go all in here and Timothy's going to fold. Or listening to well thought out and organized material is you get the right thoughts going through your mind. And the benefit for me as a teacher when I'm doing that process myself is I have to be saying the right things and going through clear thoughts. So I have to cut out all the other stuff and focus on saying the most useful, beneficial information. And that's why today I'm reviewing this final table in preparation for the 50K guaranteed big game on Party Poker, which we'll be playing later today. We see Robin here made the adjustment. Normally he would have been opening that ace-3 suited, but with Nico having all the chips and Nico applying pressure, Robin realizes he's going to get played back at by a very wide range. And instead of opening, a steely-ish type hand, he just says, I'm just going to fold, man. I'm just going to fold, let the big stack do his thing, let the big stack do his work. Hopefully he'll bust out a couple of players and I can make an extra $90,000 just by hanging around. And I like that adjustment from Robin. Adnan, ace-10, certainly going to be seeing a flop. He's going for a 3-bet. Question is, does Nico just push here or does he call? I think if he had pocket aces, he would probably slow play because he has nothing to fear. But with pocket kings, that ace seems to come way more often than we would like to have it come. And so I think he may just 4-bet it all in. He can expect to get called by queens and jacks. It is a ton of chips, but Adnan has shown he's willing to play poker. And so for that reason, I don't think Nico really needs to slow play here. Kudos to him if he does go for the slow play because he gives hands like this a chance to flop a second best top pair, and he gives hands like queens, jacks, tens a chance to think that they're the best hand on dry boards. But again, with aces, I would like a slow play. Kings, I like a fast play. And he's just going to take this one down because Adnan's 3-bet bluffing, and to call here with ace-10 would be complete insanity. He folds and shows. That is just... There's just no reason for that. Adnan, man, he's just out here having a good time. He's out here having a good time. He's a man who plays the game mostly for fun. He's on a 1K final table at the World Series of Poker, guaranteed 79K. He's snap calling all ins with Queen 9 suited, man, just seeing if he can get there. And that's exactly what he does on this flop. Unbelievable. Flops 2-pair against Team A's kings. And unless it is a 3, an ace, or a king, Team A is going to be out, but it is an ace, and he survives. Adnan, just living the dream right here. In for 1,000, scoring at least 80K. Life's pretty good for that man right there. Oh my god. This is just... Don't do this, guys. Don't do this, guys. Oh my god. That's way too many chips to be pushing with ace rag. It's not even suited. Nico's probably thinking this is a lot of chips, man. But, he also has seen how Adnan has been playing. And because Adnan could do this with any pocket pair, this is just going to be a call for Nico. All he's got to do is fade the ace. Oh, man. And Adnan. Running good when it counts, man. Running good when it counts. Finds the double up for an absurd amount of chips. 25 bigs, doubles up to 50. Like, I'm sorry. That shove was just awful. Unless he absolutely knew that the ace was coming, which no one could know. That shove was not a good one. Not a good one at all. Anyway, better to be lucky than good, right? Better to be lucky than good. All right, Yargo opening. From what we've seen from Team A, he may just fold here. He's not looking to play pots out of position, even with hands that flop reasonably well, because they flop reasonably well, but he could be dominated, right? Yargo's going to have more king-jack and ace-jack on the king-queen offsuits than he is going to have Queen 9 suiteds, Queen 10 suiteds, Jack 10 suiteds, Jack 9 suiteds. So T-May is dominated more often than he's dominating. And I think that's why we saw him fold pre-flop there. And I like that. I got a lot of respect for that. That's following the triple threat, focusing on selection, having the best hand, especially when being out of position. Teammate doesn't even open ace 8 there, really showing the adjustments for these high pressure ICM situations, showing the value of having a stack and just maintaining it and preserving it rather than trying to pick up a blind here and there. He doesn't want to try to chip up for 2.5 bigs. He wants to have the biggest stack possible so that when he plays for all the chips, he can double up for a larger amount. Chip preservation, going into closing mode, very valuable to do on final tables. Earlier in the tournament, we're looking for accumulation, but late stage, we're looking for closing mode, and T-May is doing a great job illustrating how that is done. All right, Robin Berggren, pocket tens. Gonna ship a dip this one and take it down. Adnan, again, just playing way too loose, but hey, he's having a good time, and it's working for him. Yo, Big Unit, thanks for the good luck today. Fat King Louie, what's up? Nice to see ya. Kingsful, thank you so much for the 7 months, my friend. Much appreciated. Let's get some Tillies in the chat for Kingsful, man. Much love and gratitude to you, my friend. Wow, Robin Berggren. What a trap, guys. What a trap. Let's watch that one again. I was busy on the shout out. Robin Berggren. So he knows Nico is using the big stack, applying a lot of pressure, so he just limps in with queens. I think a min raise would probably get a similar effect, but Nico is going to be ISO raising a huge amount of hands versus this limp, thinking it's basically just free money. And with his ace X's and king X's, apparently, he's just going to shove. Robin manages to get Nico to commit the full 19 blinds, which is a lot of blinds, with just one overcard. And all he's got to do is fade the 3 kings of Orient R, and he will be up to a very healthy chip stack. That looks like a brick to me. Great play by Robin there. Great trap. He's up to 12 million in chips. And now things are a little more interesting. We have 3 big stacks who are all pretty even with a decent amount of play. 35, 38, 47 bigs, which is quite a lot of big blinds for a final table. And then we have the 2 short stacks who still aren't too short. Yargo on 17 blinds, and as you know, an ICM professional master. He knows how to play that stack just fine. And Team A 420 with 13 blinds. He's feeling fine. We saw he was comfortable. 2.5 bigs, 4.5 bigs, 6 bigs, really no fear. Totally a master of the ultra short stack. So with 13 blinds, he's probably feeling like a comfortable medium stack. Feeling lax. Welcome to the stream, Zilla2. Hope you're enjoying it. If you guys are enjoying it and you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel a lot and also lets YouTube know that you want to be notified whenever I go live for another of these final table reviews. I have about 6 or 7 planned for the rest of the year. Don't know what days I'm going to do them. So that way, if you hit that like button, YouTube will just let you know when I'm live as soon as I go live, regardless of what time it is. And big thank you to everyone tuning in, man. We have a great turnout, great group of people here. Hope you are all enjoying the show, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Twitch. This is our warm-up event for the 50K guaranteed big deal today. We are playing a 1K buy-in with 48 other streamers starting in about 33 minutes. Man, I'm excited for it. It is going to be an incredibly fun grind today. Maybe the most fun Saturday stream we've ever had. We'll find out soon. All right, Robin limps in, this time with junk. Nico checks. It's going to be a board where the first person to bet at it probably takes it down. No pair, no draw. Not even a backdoor draw for Nico. He might be a little bit spooked from the previous hand. It tends to happen sometimes. Yargo folding 3s. A good thing to note, sub 25 blinds, even sub 40 blinds in a lot of spots. Those small pairs just aren't very good hands. They aren't really worth playing. And it's good to fold those hands and instead raise hands like King Jack offsuit, King 9 suited, queen 9 suited, queen 8 suited even, they play a lot better, flop a lot better than the small pairs. And therefore, they're easier to navigate post-flop and play properly and effectively. It's something I was thinking about for my book, actually, is that one of the reasons a lot of people misplay the flop is they don't know how to value hands. They know how to value hands in terms of poker hands, like a pair beats ace high, and 2 pair beats 1 pair, and 3 of a kind beats 2 pair, and flush beats a straight, and so on. But that only matters on the river. And since some players don't understand equity, or they don't understand expected value, and they therefore just rank the hands based on, okay, a pair is better than ace high. And that's why they open hands like pocket threes in that spot, but might fold queen 8 suited because a pair is better than queen high. But what I'm realizing, the more and more I dive deeper into this game, because to teach it and to write something about it, you really need to understand it very clearly. I'm realizing that when it comes to flop play and turn play, equity and expected value are more important than actual poker hand strength. And it's only on the river that poker hand strength is, the trump. Anyway, Robin with 6s is opening. Team A moving all in. It's a tough spot for Robin because he knows how tight Team A's been playing, but he is getting 2-1 on a call. I do think we'll probably see him run the cards here. Generally speaking, people call with pairs when getting 2-1 because even if they're against a range that's, got them in some rough shape, you still have about 40% equity with the pair because you're so often against ace king, ace queen, ace jack suited as opposed to the pair. So you're flipping a lot more often than you are dominating. In this case, he is dominated, and a teammate doing a great job navigating this final table, man. Just getting it in really good when he gets it in, not minding getting short, and he's back up to 6.4 million in chips. Pretty great spot with 79K locked up at this 1K final table. Shout out to Albatross71 gifting a sub to the chat. Welcome to Team Gripst by 4Lex. Welcome to Team Gripst. Hope you're ready to stack them chips. Much love to Albatross71. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. All right, Robin, pocket threes, BVB. Just going to go for the limp. With these chip stacks and this short stack here, I don't know if he's going to go for the limp shove. Nico's not even going to give him the option. He's just going to shove it here. Kind of surprised Nico doesn't go for a smaller raise here to give Robin the option to limp shove with a hand like threes, or, ace 2 suited, or maybe even ace, I guess ace 10 he doesn't want action from. But I'm a little surprised he didn't give him a bit more room given how strong his hand is. Maybe he would reserve that for hands that are even better. Jacks, queens, kings. But he opts not to with that one. Anyway, he takes down and Robin dodges a little bit of a bullet there. But as we were saying earlier, pocket pairs really aren't the greatest hands unless, you're getting all the money in for sub 20 bigs in most spots, or if you're flopping a set. And again, then the value is not in the pocket pair. It's in the 3 of a kind. Nico here, again, not inducing, kind of surprised here. I guess it is only 16 blinds, and teammates played pretty tight, but I feel like with the hand as strong as ace king, you'd like to give your opponent a little room to come over the top. If he made it like a million there, teammate might shove with king jack. I guess he may also just call with king jack, and Nico's stuck playing 3 streets out of position, which is maybe what he wanted to avoid. But I am a little bit surprised Nico is just piling it in and not giving his opponents room or the opportunity to make a play back on him. Gary Swan says, quality commentary. Thank you so much, Gary. Glad you're enjoying it. Hope that you're learning lots from it. Happy to let you know that we have a ton more final table reviews, which I will link you to at the end of the video. At the end of the live stream, I should say. All right, blinds 200, 400 now. Our short stack, Timothy West, has 14 bigs. Second shortest stack, Yargo has 15 bigs, but not for long because that money's going in the middle. 15 bigs with a nice suited Broadway. That's a great hand to get the money in the middle with. And our big stacks, not so big anymore. Robin Berggren has 26 bigs. Nico Coop, 29 bigs. Adnan, our unlikely chip leader, sitting on 36 big blinds. It's a very exciting final table here from the 2020 World Series of Poker, brought to you by GG Poker in partnership with Gripst Poker Training. And yeah, I also have a piece of news to share with you guys, which is that the World Series of Poker Europe will also be hosted on GG Poker. So we may be doing some final table commentary from those events as well. I believe it will be starting off at the end of November. There will be a North America event and an international event. Interesting spot here for Adnan. Based on what we've seen, he's likely to make the call, and he is way ahead here. Yargo needing a 6 and a 6 only to find the double up here. You can't fault him. Blind versus blind. It's a very strong hand to go with. He's got some opportunities here. Card bigger than an 8 will keep him in the game, and that is exactly one of them there. Yeah, it's one of those spots where it's really just a cooler. And the shallower the stacks get, the more coolers there are, because you have a hand that's just too good to fold as the shover, and then too good to fold as the caller. And the deeper the stacks get, the stronger of a hand you need to commit all your chips. And that's why it seems like there are fewer coolers as people get more and more deep stack. The risk-reward ratio favors being more selective with the hands that you go with. Anyway, Nico Coop opening with pocket 5s. Robert Berggren defending the big blind. Flops trip 9s with king 9. He's definitely got the best of it here. Will he check raise it? It's a nice board to check raise with a lot of bluffs. And for that reason, especially facing the small size, Robin may do that with his value, and he does. This puts Nico in a spot, man. Nico's not going to be able to fold pocket 5s here because of all the bluffs that Robin could be check raising with here. Hopefully for his sake, he just calls, which is kind of what he should do. And then Robin may shut down with his bluffs on the turn, in which case Nico can take a stab at the pot. But Nico finds the fold, man. Nice discipline there, deciding it's just not worth it. It's got a comfortable stack. Doesn't need to get more tied to this marginal situation. Doesn't need to get more invested in this marginal situation. And so he's going to pass on that one. Non-tanking on 10-6 for some strange reason. Robin will certainly be opening king 10 on the button here. Nico folds ace 6. Teammate with a hand that plays pretty well, but again, just not wanting to take any flops out of position. He wants to be the aggressor. He wants to be playing for all the chips when he plays. And it's been working for him so far. So lots to learn from that. All right, Nico, this time I like the shove. It's only 25 big blinds. They're not deep enough where he really needs to have a smaller sizing to induce some action. All right, Robin opens it up with 8s. We'll take it down. And he is quietly marching his way to potentially picking up the chip lead. Blinds up once again. This is a turbo final table. The blinds are going up every 16 hands. Now they are 250, 500,000. Teammate with 9 bigs moves it all in with pocket 4s. As we were saying, pocket pairs go up in value when you get shallower and you can actually push for all of the chips. It's when you're raising for, a 1/10 of your chips that they're really not the best hands to be having. Aces, though, that's the best hand to be having. On this stack size, yes, he does get the min raise in there. See if Adnan does something silly. We've seen him do lots of silly things before. The ace 6 offsuit was pretty silly. The initial ISO with deuces that got teammate back in the game, that was pretty silly. And he's flattened with queen 10 offsuit versus a min raise from a 10 big blind stack who is never opening queen 9, 10 9, or any hands that Adnan's dominating. So once again, pretty silly. And Robin might be tempted to squeeze here, but like he knows Adnan's flat's weak, but that Yargo's open is probably very strong. So I like his fold there. Nice discipline, not being seduced by the suitedness. And now perfect flop for Adnan. Top pair, open ender. He's going to get all the money in. Good luck to both players. An 8, a 10, or a king will spell GG for Yargo. That is the end. Once again, Adnan Hasialioglu getting rewarded for splashing around. And that's going to be 5th place finish for Yargo, taking home $75,394. My payout listings slightly off. I guess I did a typo there, but close enough. Close enough. All right. Our chip leader is Adnan Hasialioglu. What is going on? How is this happening? Is this real life? Yep. That's the beauty of tournament poker, that anyone can win. And it's the beauty of turbos. You tend to see a lot more of these wild card players making deep runs in turbo tournaments and hyper turbo tournaments. And that's why, you know, they attract a lot more players. It's a lower time commitment. The working man can play more turbos. They have more of a shot, less likely to get outplayed by the pros as there are fewer deep stack situations. There's a lot more luck factor involved. And as long as you're willing to gamble, if Lady Luck is on your side, then, you know, good things are coming your way. Borat says, a first time to the stream. I love it. We'll definitely be back. Thank you so much, Borat. Glad you're enjoying the show. Glad you're enjoying the content. Thank you very much for tuning in. Nico flops the set. Nico flops the set. Adnan doesn't see bet. He's very hard to predict what he's going to do. This Adnan Hasialioglu. He's definitely mixing it up very effectively. We'll give him that. He's coming in for a raise with ace-4. Robin probably tempted to 3-bet with the blockers, but knowing Adnan's a little loopy, probably prefers not to. And also with teammate being so short, again, 4 million, Robin's just looking to outlast him. It's an extra $40,000. It's 40 buy-ins to outlast the short stack here. Not the time to be making thin calls, thin peels, thin 3-bets. It's really the time to lock down and be extra selective of the spots you get involved in and the spots you want to commit your chips. Now I'm going to limp in here. Robin could go either way here. He could say, let's take a free flop, which is what he does. Could raise it up for value. Both players flop a piece. It's top pair for Robin. Bottom pair and a gut shot for Adnan. Check, bet, call. We may see the same on the turn. No reason for Robin to bet big with the flush getting there, but plenty of reason to bet for protection to, you know, fold out any single diamond type hand or a hand like Adnan had. He had a pair, he had a gut shot, he has some outs, and Robin's happy to take that pot down and not let Adnan realize the chance of spiking that 5-outer. Doughboy says, if Adnan wins, I'm going to be really mad. All right, well, just warn the neighbors because he does have the chip lead. He does have the chip lead. All right, Adnan, King Jack suited. This is going to be an open. And I think with Nico's stacks, probably just going to move all in with Ace Queen here. It's 20 big blinds. It's the right chip stack to do it. Yes, there's a short stack in play that he may want to outlast, but it's not like he's calling off all his chips. He's going to be getting a fold a ton of the time from Adnan and picking up a nice pot. And Adnan just snaps with King Jack suited, man. He's going for the win. He's gambling for the prize and the bracelet. He needs a king or a jack, and he spikes it. Nico's sick to his stomach, man. Barring an ace on the river, it's going to spell GG's for Nico Coop. Adnan grips the full house, 5s full of kings, Timothy West ladders up again, guys. This guy came into the final table with 2.5 bigs, likely to pick up $28K. Instead, he's taking home $143,000. No need to make those marginal calls blind versus blind. No need to make those marginal defense from the big blind and get yourself to a trouble spot out of position. No, sir. Be selective. Pick your spots. Let the other players bust each other out, because that's what happens in tournaments. Ladder up and make your 6-figure payday. I think we'll likely be seeing the end of Team A here, but wow. What a great job laddering up. Really masterful stuff. Navigating his way to a $143,000 payday. Needs a 10 and a 10 only to survive. Oh, that could be a 10, and that's exactly what it is. Team A still in the game. All right, so congratulations to our 4th place finisher, Nico Coop, taking home $103,892.64. And now we're down to the final 3. All these players are guaranteed $143,162. Second place will be $197,274, about a $55,000 pay jump. And first place is taking home $259,842,000 plus that coveted World Series of Poker gold bracelet right there. Team A making the push, getting through. Welcome in Chess Brilliance. A lot of crossover between chess players and poker players. Similar games of strategy. Similar games which attract us smarty, nerdy, you might even say geeky types. And we love it. Welcome into the stream, Brandon in Florida. And shout out to Gizvigo redeeming that Poker Market gift credit. 100,000 points. Great job. I will send you that. Actually, I'll send you that on our break between this and the big game. All right, blinds up. $600,000. Robin opening Jack 10. Team A reshoving King 10 suited. Adnan overcalling with force. Super unnecessary. Quite an overplay. But he does have the best hand pre-flop. Team A needing a king or a 10, and one of those 10s is dead. A queen will now also give him the win if he hits Broadway. But unfortunately, it looks like Team A's luck has run out. It will be Adnan making the straight. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to spell GG's for Timothy West. A great performance. He's taken home $143,162 for his effort. Incredible job laddering. As I told you guys at the start of the stream, that's an online legend, tournament legend, been around the game for decades. And he showed you masterfully how to navigate a final table with a short stack, getting maximum value, coming in 8 of 8, finishing in 3rd. Incredible payday, incredible play. And if you're looking to get max value from this stream, feel free to go back, watch the replay again, which will be available on my YouTube channel shortly after. And pay attention to Timothy West. Great play. All right, we're heads up. Adnan has pretty big chip lead here. 3-1, in fact. It's 36 million against 12 million for Robin. Robin, one of my picks, also did a great job moving up the payout structure here. He's guaranteed 197K. I mean, this is a huge win for both players. They both bought in for $1,000. No multiple entries for these guys. Guaranteed 200K, playing for an extra 60K plus the World Series of Poker bracelet. You got to feel pretty good to be in this player's shoes. Like, that's the dream, right? Not just to make the final table, but to find yourself heads up for a bracelet with a huge payday locked up. That's what tournament poker really is all about. What up, Miss Baby Love? Good timing. Welcome to the stream. So shout out to Gaming On, tuning in. Crazy night last night. Crazy night last night. We'll talk a bit more about it on the break. Absolute insanity, but let's finish this final table first. Adnan, can he sun run his way to a World Series of Poker bracelet? If you told me at the start of this final table that he was going to make it heads up, I'd say no way. When I was doing the scouting report and looking at the players, there is no way I expected the guy with $13,000 in total live earnings and an average buy-in of $200 that he would be the one heads up for the bracelet. But here he is, man. Here he is, man. Making a poker dream potentially come true. Gives us all hope, faith, and belief that we could one day be hoisting a World Series of Poker bracelet too, if we just run good enough. Do note though, he did run very well, but he gave himself a chance to get lucky because he was willing to gamble. That's one thing. People who are not willing to gamble and take chances will never win tournaments, because even when they do get lucky, they don't win any chips for it. And that's why if you're going for the win, 'tis better to be a little bit too aggressive than a little bit too passive and too cautious when it comes to poker tournaments. All right, Robin. 18 bigs. Limps in. Adnan. With 2 overcards, just going to fold here. And this could be it. Ace Queen, a premium hand, heads up. Pocket 7s, a premium hand, heads up. The chips are destined to go in the middle. It'll be a raise from Adnan, a shove from Robin, a snap call from Adnan. And if Robin can fade, he'll be tied and in a fair race going for the win. But with that queen on the flop, poker gods seem to have different plans in order. And it is destiny for Adnan. Hasialioglu came into this final table, the unlikely player to take it down. A 1K buy-in World Series of Poker bracelet event. Your champion is Adnan Hasialioglu, taking home $271,841.90. An incredible payday for that man right there. 271 buy-ins. He's on top of the world. Plus, he's got the World Series of Poker bracelet. Dreams really do come true with the World Series of Poker. Wow, that was a really fun final table. Hope you all enjoyed watching it as much as I did casting and commentating it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat or in the comments. The show is going to go on. If you enjoyed this final table review and you want to see more, check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Grips, where I have my full playlist of all the WSOP final tables right here. In addition to that, I have some of my own deep runs and final tables with review, mental game videos, more deep runs, and theory videos as well. We're on a mission to reach and teach 100,000 poker players. So if you want to join Team Grips, help that dream come true, help us get stacking, click that subscribe button and hit the like button to be notified every time a new video goes live. As I've said, we have a few more of these 2020 WSOP final tables to review, and I look forward to sharing them with you. If you want some additional training material for MTTs absolutely free, click the button up here or visit gripst.com/PGMS/MTT, where you can get yourself a free tournament training package worth $200. Includes my best-selling MTT video guide, beginner's guide to tournament selection, my ebook, and how to adjust your table, as well as 30 days of videos to teach you everything you need to succeed at MTTs absolutely free. Anyway, the show is going to move over to twitch.tv/Grips, where we are going to be playing a 50K guaranteed tournament with only 50 players. Going to be one of the most epic poker streams of all time. If you guys want to sweat an epic stream, come join me at twitch.tv/Gripst. I will also be giving away 5% of my winnings today to people in Twitch chat. So I will leave a link in YouTube chat for that. Come and join us. It's going to be a party, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the final table. Hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Take what you learned, go out there and get stacked. And this has been Evan for Grips Poker Train saying thank you so much for tuning in and making another awesome stream happen. I'll catch you at the next one. Peace. Peace to the peace to the peace, peace, peace. See you on Twitch.